2 times first vice who's more qualified to be in the committee more than me. But you know, there are some hoodlums that will be pushed to start, and then if you don't have a thick skin, you can't be in politics. And then I enjoy that because anytime I wake up in the morning and open the platform, it's the bashing of HEADMAN. I say, why? I'm a very wonderful person. Because if you are in because yes, I'm a great person. I'll say Alhamdulillah. Because if you're in the world and nobody talks about you, which means you don't exist. Don't you think so? So those calling me names on there, I don't want to mention their names because I'll make them popular anyway. You see, I thank them for the bashing every morning and evening. They know themselves. They are watching this morning. I thank them because when they do that, the people will call me back and say, Aja, what do you have? And then these people are on you like that. I say, no, it's Baiwa. Do you know Baiwa? It's the grace of God. So that's it. Right. So we are on course, don't worry. She was saying, you don't have flag bearer, you don't have this, you don't. By this thing, you see our flag bearer with tsunami, young, dynamic. Right.
Gabriela, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're fine.
I'm very well. But I will not talk about CPP issues because she says whenever I mention CPP, I talk about them in some condescending manner. So since you started the conversation on CPP, that conversation, I'm not part of it.
But I say you should congratulate them.
Congratulations.
I'm even part of the committee. You congratulate me.
Congratulations. But she said something at the end. She says that if you're into politics and people don't talk about you and insult you, then you are just existing.
You are irrelevant.
You know, it is when you come under attack that you realize that, oh, you must be doing something right.
Right.
So you take it in your stride. It's one of those
things. Know, my mother used to tell me that you see this stomach that you are in politics. There's water in there, there's blood in there. But if you are going to vomit, you vomit water. So it's not anything that maybe you hear. You see that you react to.
Right.
Because maybe if you, as soon as you say it, you cannot take it back.
Right.
So that's why you have to be careful.
Right. Our topics for discussion this morning. DRC Army says it stopped attempted coup involving U.S. citizens. Also, no allowance nurses and midwives trainees allowance still not paid after VIP's assurance. Sale of SNIT hotels, organized labor to go on strike if process continues. Ghana city to rebound. Ghana city to rebound. This is a story captured on the front page of the Economy Times newspaper. So these are the topics we have tabled for this morning's discussion. As usual, I'm going to implore you to be a part of the conversation. We'll start with our first topic. I think yesterday we discussed this topic on this show, except that we didn't know that there were U.S. citizens involved. Let me read the story. It says the leader of an attempted coup on Sunday in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been killed and some 50 people, including 3 American citizens, arrested. A spokesman for the Central African country's army told Reuters. A gunfire rang out around 4 a.m. in the capital, Kinshasa. A Reuters reporter said armed men attacked the presidency in the city center, according to spokesman Sylvain Ekenge. Another attack took place at the nearby home of Vital Kamerhe, a member of parliament who is tipped to become speaker. Kamerhe's spokesman Michel Moto Muhima and the Japanese ambassador said in posts on X. Moto Muhima said 2 guards and an attacker had been killed in that incident. Ekenge also said 1 attacker was killed there. A shell fired from Kinshasa hit the city of Brazzaville, a neighboring Republic of Congo, injuring several people. That country's government said in a statement, adding that 1 person had been hospitalized. Ekenge named Christian Malanga, a US-based Congolese politician, as the leader of the attempted coup. Malanga was definitely neutralized during the attack on the Palais de la Nation. A certain Abubakar was neutralized during the attack on the residence of Vital Kamerhe, and the others, around 50, including 3 American citizens, were arrested and are currently undergoing interrogation by the specialized services of the armed forces. And so this is the story. It's interesting how they describe people being killed as neutralized. You know. Yes. Yes. If yes. Wow. So if you are neutralized, it means that you've been killed. You are neutralized, you are exterminated. You know, right? So let me start with you, Gabriela.
Let me say good morning to our viewers. Good morning to my fellow co-panelists. They're looking very fresh this morning. Despite the fact that the CD is still dancing to the dollar. They look good. Bless, good morning to you too. Don't say anything. You are reading a whole pamphlet on the CD. I know when we get to that topic, you finish Kedoforiata, the other one sitting there now, and Baumia and everybody. So you hold your peace. Let's talk about DRC. On the lighter note, let me share some very funny information with you. Around this, one of the politicians who was attacked. So one time on my LinkedIn profile, some guy sent me a message in my DM that he was a PA to a politician in DRC and that they're looking for investment in African countries. And any politician or any person who knows me very well will know that when it comes to me personally as an individual, one thing I like doing is fact finding. The minute you come and tell me you want to invest in anything, I'm not going to look for the business for you. I'm coming to look for you. So I was digging up all kinds of stuff about this politician. And then something didn't sit right about the whole thing, what they wanted to do. For me, it sounded like a politician who has made money and is looking for where to spend the money or push the money and is willing to take any risk at all. So I wasn't going to be part of that. So I started playing along like I was interested, just for shaggy reasons. And then this politician is one of the people named in your story, in the DRC. So interestingly, that weekend, I got a text from one of my friends that he was in DRC. So I shared the story about these fraudsters who have come to my LinkedIn and are telling me that there's this politician who wants to share money. And in fact, that politician himself was also texting me. It wasn't just the PA, it was the two of them. So I sent the screenshots to my friend. And you know the funny thing? I have to keep some names out and some titles out of people who know who I'm talking about, those who know at that level. So this friend of mine was attending a farewell party of a country director of one of the top international agencies in the world. And it was the president of Congo, mentioned here, who was hosting that farewell dinner for this gentleman. And my friend was also there because he's a very good friend to this other gentleman. So when I sent the messages to him, I know the other gentleman who served with the international organization as well. So they were sharing text messages and they were laughing over the issue. They said that the man is coming for the dinner. At that time, he was the opposition leader. So they said that he's coming for the dinner, so they deliberately make fun of him. So when he came and met them, then they asked him, oh, but if you want to invest in Ghana, we are here. You should have contacted us. You don't contact our girlfriends in Ghana. And he asked, what are you talking about? So he showed their text messages with his picture, his name, everything. That's what they do. And the man was like, who is this? He said, you're somebody pretending to be you. Is willing to invest in Ghana. And of all the people they could go and choose to assist them was our girlfriend. So this gentleman became my friend. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's like one of the people, I'm sure I've already made it mention who he is by now. It's Kemehe. So through that conversation, I got to know the gentleman as well. But let's stick to the main issue of DRC. DRC. Well, exactly. DRC is one of those African countries that if all was to stabilize, if things were to go well in that country, that country could be the anchor country that builds this continent. It is the most resource-rich country on this continent. Second biggest, second most populated. But for some reason, whether international forces, international hands, local politicians, citizens, there's something missing in why DRC cannot get a grip to rise to the greatness that she's supposed to be. Bless. Since, I don't know if you know, even Nkrumah had to write a whole book on the Congo for the liberation of Congo, because even Nkrumah realized that something about the continent depends on this region. cobalt, diamonds, petroleum, water, tin, copper. I mean, her blessings are endless. But yet, she's suffering from poor infrastructure, weak institutions, citizens that are not built and developed to really build this country. And many politicians take advantage of her vulnerabilities using international influences. This gentleman who was quote unquote neutralized, using the words that was published.
Yeah.
In 2017, his son also attempted the coup and was arrested. So I don't know what it is about this family that feels so entitled that they must get to the presidency by whichever means. And this is the consequences of them forcing themselves into the presidency. Because everybody knows that, I mean, I'm talking about the political ranks. It's like everybody knows that there's something in there that they must have their hands on. And it's a very sad situation for DRC. Very, very sad situation. But I'm very happy that they were able to foil it. I've seen videos online about the gentleman who was neutralized going for training in, I don't know if I should mention those countries, going for training in some countries that
it's already online, so you can mention it.
Okay. Going for training in Israel, training with American soldiers. Thankfully,
enemies of the world.
And thankfully, the U.S. Embassy in Kinshasa released a statement yesterday that they are disappointed to hear that there were Americans involved in this coup. They dissociate themselves, and they are going to offer the DRC every assistance to make sure that perpetrators are brought to book. In fact, two interesting things occurred prior to even that statement. The U.S. Embassy issued a security statement a few days before the attack. These people who went to organize this coup, I don't know whether it is foolishness or bravado or whatever led them. Will you believe that the gentleman's Facebook page was actually broadcasting live when the coup was ongoing, as if they were very sure that they were going to succeed? So they were recording themselves, and then it's on morning TV, but some of these things is forgive me, but I have to get it out of my chest. Some of this is idiotic. You go and organize a coup, then you broadcast yourself live. You are showing where in the corridors you are. You are showing, so all the security has to do is to be watching your Facebook live. Okay, they are here. They are there. I mean, what stupidity! You can't even organize a proper coup. But on the lighter side, I think that is the blessing that DRC actually has today, because if they hadn't been that stupid, probably would have succeeded, and the story of DRC's deterioration will not stop. So I'm very happy that they went to the election, I think in December or so. The president should start thinking about setting up his government, because he too is delaying, and I think that is what it is, these things that creates weaknesses in the governance system that allows people to think that they can take advantage of those weaknesses and put themselves into leadership. But as I said, I'm happy that it was foiled. I think now that family should learn the better lesson. Whatever it is that makes them feel so entitled to take over the presidency of the DRC. One son is in jail, the father is dead. The rest of the family members should just advise themselves, and if they're also having those thoughts of going to continue with the legacy of the father and the son, they should advise themselves and think of something more productive to do with themselves instead of wanting to go and chase after power.
Right. Dr. Ramsey.
Bless. Thank you so much, and once again, a good morning to your cherished viewers. The Congo issue is a clear paradigm of what scholars call the paradox of plenty, where a resource-rich nation has all what it takes, has huge exports of its natural resources and gains a lot, but yet still the country is highly impoverished. And at stance now, Congo DRC is the 4th poorest country on earth, which has all the resources in the world, formerly known as Zaire. And if we look at the history of this country, they're so blessed. They're the most resource-rich country in Africa and even in the world. But yet still, due to Western powers always trying to infiltrate their political system, corrupt leadership, incompetence, form of governance that they've had over this past decades has brought Congo to what it is today. The current leader of the opposition who staged the coup, Christian Malanga, is a known figure to the establishment. And you rightly recall that in 2011, he was disqualified and arrested during an election process where he was standing to be a representative of the legislative for being an anti-Kabila person, right? So he was against the establishment. And then today leads falls a coup that was not successful, and now he's dead. So the issue of Congo Bless is something that we should really sit up as African countries and look within, because the problems that we are plagued with, it's beyond sometimes our imagination for want of solutions. Because Bless, you can't have a resource-rich country like Zaire if countries like Singapore had the resources that Congo has today. I'm sure Singapore would have been way, way, way better than it is. But unfortunately, Congo is not living up to its potential. And that is as a result of consistent failed leadership over the years and exploitative contracts by Western powers, namely the US, the French, the Belgians, and then the Dutch, and what have you, have always exploited our continent. And they've taken out the life out of us. And this is a time we need to rebuild. We need to reorient our mentality as to who our real friends and who our real enemies are. And so the Congo issue is a clear paradigm of the failures of we African countries, and it's a clear indication as to the real past agenda of our forefathers, the Nkrumahs, the Patrice Lumumba, the Sékou Tourés, that we need to really fortify a front to be able to couple the threat of these strong Western countries that do not have the African continent at heart, but they want to suck out the blood of our continent. And so I would hope that the Congolese people would adhere to absolute democracy. The leadership would take this as a lesson and ensure that they do the needful, right, to alleviate the impoverishment of their people. Because it does not alter well when we say Congo is a resource-rich country, yet it's the 4th poorest country in the world. This is an absolute paradox. And they need to really tackle these issues hand in hand. And one of the contributing factors to its impoverishment, Bless, is as a result of corrupt contracts that the government signs with multinationals in the extractive industry. And you remember, I sat here some time ago and criticized the coup in Niger. But today, the data shows that Niger is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. So today, I would swallow my humble pie. Yes, because it's all about data. And one thing the general did to ensure that Niger is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa was to renegotiate the uranium deal with France, where the French were paying nearly 95 pence per gram of uranium to now over 200 euros per gram, which today is benefiting these people. So kudos to the government, the government in Niger, the current government in Niger. And if this is how they are going to go about the development of their country, then I support them. It's a Pan-African step, And I am in for any Pan-African agenda to be able to leapfrog the dreams and aspirations of the African people and the black man. And so, bless, Congo has to learn this lesson. We need to really, and AU, African Union, African Union, I don't know what's happening. I do not know what is happening to this body. We need to revitalize the organization and bring back the old spirit that was surrounding the founding fathers of this union. We need to bring back the old spirit of Pan-Africanism, because right now it has been modernized and westernized, if for want of a better word. And we're not seeing that zeal, we're not seeing that spirit of Pan-Africanism in the discharge of the duties of the AU. And they need to really wake up to the cause of Africans and the issues that are plagued with us in Africa.
Thank you very much, Ramsey. You must have a very wonderful submission there. Let me come to Haji Hamdatu.
What is left for me to say? What am I going to say about Congo again? Gabriela started, and he has even solved this. But you see, Blaise, we've been talking about Africa, 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 Africa. Just yesterday, you saw me removing these two cars. These two gentlemen were in my house yesterday to talk about illicit drugs and then guns, because we are part of the Women in Peace, Space and Security. And then I mentioned DRCO. I didn't even know there was a coup there, because the whole of the weekend I was busy. So I decided to stay home yesterday. So I was telling them that there was a day we went to UNDP and we were talking about this salient fund, how we are going, civil society are going to help. And I was asking them, we were always talking about guns. Have we ever thought of how, or the source of these guns that are coming into our continent? We have to tackle that. If we are not able to tackle that, it will be difficult for us to control the arms that are in wrong hands. But you see, the DRC, in fact, is very pathetic. I've been there before. Not somebody will say not inside proper. We were in Rwanda. You know, they share a border with Rwanda. So that was 2015. UNDP took us. All the political parties, two from each of the political parties. So we went on an excursion, but I happened to be in a group that went to the border to DRC. Bless, if you see the people from DRC, you can see the pain in their body from head to toe. They will come in the morning into Rwanda to work, and they have to come with their card. They will queue and enter. In the evening, they will queue out of Rwanda. Where we stood, because they held a rope like this, like when we were kids, if you are running that rope that you hold. Even still, they are doing it. Then I jumped into DR Congo and came and I said, I've gone to DR. If you see the soil, it's black. Everywhere is black, I'm told. It's a country of natural resources. But as you all said, who will allow us to have peace, to be able to use our head to do the right thing? If we have all our thinking cap very well set, do you think anybody can come and influence us? No. So they'll bring their guns. They'll give it up. What are American nationals doing in a failed coup? We ask ourselves. Yeah. What were they doing? All what you were saying, I was just thinking about these three Congolese
Americans.
Yeah. But they'll always pick
you understand?
Someone from.
So if it's anything at all, but they are nationals. Yeah. No matter the situation, if there's something wrong with them, if they can even come to Ghana, American satellite would identify wherever they are and pick them, because they said they are protecting their own. You can protect your own, but we cannot protect our own. It's sickening. But I'm happy the coup has been foiled, and the family that felt entitled, the leader is gone, the son is in prison. You see, I don't know why Africans, we don't want peace. When we are enjoying the peace, all these natural resources will be of benefit to us and the generation yet unborn. But we are thinking of, let's win power. Let me get this. Let me get that. So even yesterday when the people came, we're talking about even the youth. So I'm happy when the spokesperson for the chief imam advising the youth, they shouldn't be allowed to be used to disturb the election that we are heading towards. Because I was telling some group of people, I said, I don't know why when they come and call you, you just go and be causing mayhem. Have you seen a minister or a president's daughter or son in those kind of things? They are comfortable at the airport residential, Laboni and cantonment. And you are in my, I'll mention Nima, Mamobi, Kotobabi and Bukom and what have you. And it's a fact.
Yes, as I mentioned.
Let me mention. You see, let me mention at times, let's say it as it is. Maybe they will listen to us because it's sickening. And then when they are arrested, or maybe when there is a problem, they say, oh, your people are there, or they've arrested them, your people. Meanwhile, they perpetrate those who come and hire them. That time, it's not my people, though. But if they are, your people, they were misbehaving, so they are all in the police station and blah, blah, blah. And watch Nima police station during elections, or even you see us, they are there. If you are passing, you ask what is wrong. Oh, there was some confusion, and I said, where did you pass and the confusion got you? So I think all boils down to education, one, and employment. Because if people have work to do, they will not be enticed by any group of people to go and do the wrong thing. I'm taking it to another level because we are in an election year. We, alhamdulillah, Ghanaians, we have patient coup there, we don't like it. We prefer to use our thumb to go and change government instead of taking arms. But if it can happen in Burkina Faso, Guinea, Niger, it can happen anywhere in the country, in the world. So I think African Union, as you said, I think it's now left with, it's like some bourgeoisie club that they go and wine and eat and laugh, pats the shoulders of those who are abusing their constitution, and then they disperse. That's how I describe them now. Because you don't have any moral right to condemn somebody who went and did coup, meanwhile you are dining and whining with a coup maker.
And autocrats.
Yes. And everything, you use all the words. So for me, I heard Gabriela saying that they held their elections in December, and we are in May. A government has not been formed. Why? Which means there is a vacuum created. The president should be up and doing. AU should step in and help, maybe if he's finding it difficult to do certain things. Because if it's anything at all, if there's a problem, still, people will go.
He's trying to build a united.
Yes, so he wants to, so it is good, because United Congo is better than divided Congo because of their history. If you look at Kabila, who went and fought, and look at the way he died. People just came and then he was just lying there. So people should remember that whatever we are doing, there's death. But people are not thinking about death. They want to disturb somebody till the last day. So I think as we are doing our politics and analyzing things that are happening in our country, on the continent, whether we want to come to power, whether we are in power, we should know that there's one God and He's watching all of us. If it's my party that is in power, I will expect Gabriela and Doctor to pray that I succeed, even though they want to take over from me. But Ashantis will say, I'm not happy that I've had 3 American nationals. And then they will issue statements just to cover whatever. Whether they are me, you can watch me, American Embassy, if you are listening. Please give the world some peace. Why is it that? Look at what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. The money they have voted to support. If they've given quota to Africa, that they are siphoning our natural resources.
Not even free money.
Not even free money.
But as
laws without conditions.
Reparation for the slavery of our ancestors. Yes. Not free money.
Why?
But bless, Hajia made mention, both of them made mention about the AU. I think that we have to put a bit more pressure on the AU to set up.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious that now the continent is under siege by coups.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
So what are we not doing right?
It's not a question of whether it succeeds or it doesn't succeed. The mere fact that people want to topple government should tell you that fundamentally there are problems going on in the countries, in the African countries, and AU has to sit up and be seen to be trying to curb some of these things with the leaders that are elected. We should be able to tell leaders who are weak and failing that, Mr. President, you are failing. And the consequences for your failure can be dire, not just for your country and your people, but for the sub-region and your continent.
Right. Thank you very much. And we'll proceed to our next topic. But a reminder that we are live on Facebook. Also, the text line, very, very active. Make sure you send in your messages. It was last week that the Vice President made a promise to pay the allowances of nurses and midwives trainees. The date that he promised, and he was specific, it was Thursday the 16th day of May 2024. Today is 21st of May 2024, and these nurses and midwife trainees have come out to say that the money has still not hit their accounts. In fact, I listened to them on radio this morning, and they've threatened that they are going to resort to other drastic measures in order to get their allowances. Some of them have said that it's been 3 years since their allowances was last paid, and so they are still waiting for it. They use this money to pay for their exam fees, and so some of them would not be able to sit the exam that is being currently conducted in their respective schools. So it's a real issue. But I don't know if the finance ministry has sent the money, or yes, I don't know if the finance ministry has sent the money to the health ministry, and the health ministry hasn't disbursed it yet. And listening to the association of nurses and midwives trainees, according to them, there's no definite, I don't know if it's because of how they are being owed, because some people are owed for 5 months, some are owed for 2 years, some are owed for like 12 months. So there are disparities. And they even came out to say that the 177 million that the Vice President said he would ask the Finance Ministry to disburse is woefully inadequate to pay everything. So it cannot. So what may be the problem? Because if the Vice President, if somebody like the Vice President on such a platform, and it nearly became... I'll start with you. It nearly became an embarrassment, because they had an open mic session, and then this girl grabbed the mic and said, our allowances have not been paid. When are you paying? So what may be the problem? Is it that the money has been sent and then it has just not been disbursed yet? What's the problem?
Bless, the chickens have come home to roost. When the NDC administration, under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, suggested that we should cut nursing trainee allowances and teacher trainee allowances and migrate them to the student loan system, which was going to give them access to more money, the NPP made politics out of the whole issue, told all these nurses trainees and teacher trainees that NDC was up to no good and was cutting their allowances. The same challenges that the NDC faced 2012-2016 about these allowances is the same problem NPP is also facing today. It is about ability to pay. If you keep giving out free monies without getting ample monies back in return to be feeding and getting the revenues to keep paying these monies, it is not sustainable. And that's the main reason why NDC suggested let us put them on the student loan. Because when you benefit, when you start working, you pay monies back. The fund revolves. Somebody else gets access to it. Even if government has to intervene, it's not intervening with the bulk cash that is going to put in there, that is going to go out and nothing is going to come back in return. Today, the evidence is clear. You referenced when Baumia went to campaign in Bono and a young lady picked up the microphone and told him that you keep talking about this alawa. And it was so embarrassing to the vice president. As if for the last, God knows, 7 years, 8 years, all they keep trumpeting this, and they cancel the teacher training allowance and nurse training allowance, and we have restored it. Everything is we have restored. Not doing that, even 3 years cry you owe. But whoever has been feeding him those nursery rhymes to be repeating everywhere he goes did not tell him that, Master, we owe. Today, as it says, this country's finances is no good. Everybody knows that is why the economy is in the state is in. Everybody needs more money. Even Ghanaian workers who are working for government want more money because of high cost of living. So government itself can't even give workers any extras, not to talk of allowances to nurses and teacher trainees. I heard Honorable Okoboy on the news yesterday or this morning saying that the nursing trainees should compare the person who said I will pay and has not been able to pay versus the one who said I will not pay. They want Ghanaians to go and do this comparison. When your so-called I will pay and has not paid has taken 3 years. He said he has seen that the monies has been released to controller. Bless. As for the monies, it's always sitting at Bank of Ghana with at the Bank of Ghana. When you go to controller's office, he has a big sheet. Every day they prepare for him. All these contractors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, how much they have to be paid, how many workers. The whole list is there. So when you come, they check. Okay, you are the bottom here. Now they said they need the allowances. Okay, we'll pay this one, we'll pay this one, we'll pay this one. That's how they start their day in the mornings. We'll pay this one for the country to move. So by the time they finish, we'll pay this one and pay this one. That money that you are waiting for allowances in no feature.
So on their scale of preference, they choose the most pressing needs.
I swear.
I see.
That is how their system works for controller. It is deputies. So if you come and tell us that you have released the monies and the money is sitting there and controller still has so many people and companies and institutions he has to pay for the country to function, and this is not a pressing need, you are not seeing the money now. So I'm very sorry to tell the nursing trainees and by extension teacher trainees that we hate to say we told you so, but today we are vindicated. You should have accepted the student loan scheme. You would not have had these problems today. Because as for that one, it is a straightforward matter. The money is in the trust fund. You apply, you get your monies transferred to your account. When you start working, you can pay back the monies. And even for you nursing trainees, yours is even much easier. At least when you complete nursing training school, all things being equal, the state has to find employment for you. So it's not the case that you complete school and you don't find jobs and there's unemployment like the other people who go and study other programs. Yours is even much different. But you chose to fall for a propaganda that told you that we are cancelling this, we are cancelling that, and it means that you will not get it. As I said, it is evident, it is clear, like night and day. Sikano, ebiniho. And if Baumia gives you assurance that he's coming to pay you today, don't plan with it. Because this same gentleman, you've heard that special prosecutor says he has cleared ghost workers off controller's payroll.
Yes.
And he's saving this country like 38 million cedis or something like that per year.
Yeah.
Just last month, April, Baumia told the whole country that today they don't have ghost workers on the payroll because they have cleared them of through SNIT. That man has lost credibility. His words don't carry any value. And as I said, if Baumia tells you today, he'll do something for you today, forget it.
Hajia, let me come to you.
Yes, I think the nurses and teachers trainee allowance, I think, has been used in politics in this country, whether we like it or not. But we have to ask ourselves whether the country's pets can continue giving them free money. I heard you reading something like they said they would take drastic measures. What is the drastic measure they are going to take? Demonstration. But you see, it is not the must that they must take money from the coffers and give the nurses or teachers.
But they promise them.
You understand?
They promise them.
It's a political promise. So
But you see, for me, you see, we have come to a, should I say, we've reached a point that I think everything that we are doing in this country, we should look at it again. We should look at it again. Education, and what have you.
Health.
Because can our pairs sustain the giving of allowance to teachers? So ask Gabriela, because come to think of it, these two professions, you know, people even want to go in there, they cannot get admission.
Because they are guaranteed employment.
Yeah.
Because they are guaranteed employment. And then you are even getting it and still getting allowance. That was then. Fine. Kwame Nkrumah, my own party, we did something like that. I remember when we were in primary school, during the Achampon's time, the teacher trainee, they would bring, that was where I learned how to eat gobe. You know, gobe is not something that is popular in the north, then won't work it. So even if they bring it in, we are like, what is this? It is difficult to eat gari and beans. So it was through the teacher trainees that we knew this food. And being a me in particular, I didn't even know them. They were even giving them free food, not even free allowance. So which means they were even going to school free. But let's look at what is happening in the world, whether it's sustainable. Whether it's sustainable. Because if it's anything at all, whether it's MPP, NDC, CPP, and let's look at it. Fine, it has been used to play politics. But what is the way forward? What is the way forward? Because the money was promised last week, isn't it? Now the students are saying that they've not been paid. And then it's true, you cannot forgo medication to the health facilities, a social distance to the polyclinics, and use that money to give to nurses. You have to wait and see which one is more distant. Because if they need incubators, if they need syringes and other things in hospitals, are we going to say we are going to give it to the nurses because of a promise, and then now children will be dying or people will be dying in the hospital? We have to look at all that. We have to look at all that. What is the this? Not that's why I can't pronounce that thing every day. You see, wherever you go into a shop, you pay.
She forgot your party's name.
You see, you pay. You buy water in the shopping mall, you pay. So that one is already made money. That is there. So as for national health insurance, and we shouldn't talk about maybe there's no money to, unless of course we are diverting the money into another coffers. But if there's a channel of collecting this money, I think it would have been rather in excess, not to be owing the national insurance secretary. But for me, this teachers allowance, nurses allowance, let's look at, because if you say you are using it to buy your books, and those our students that we are also paying the fees in university, who is buying the books for them? We are paying.
Yeah.
They are paying loans to buy books.
You understand?
Yeah.
And even these nurses, we train them, you finish, they go and look for UK visa, and then off they are gone. You understand? Let's sit as a country and look at it very well again. Let's call a spade a spade. If the system is not working in such a way that we can sustain that, let's look at it. If you can attend, fine. If you cannot, let's have a scheme that maybe if it's a student loan that you can pay, then let's look at that. Because we have tried the allowance and we are in arrears for 3 years. So what can we do? Is it that we have to change the narrative? We have to change the status quo. If that is the case, let's look at it. Because, hey, tomorrow, let's CPP come, Afranfranto come, or NDC come, we'll still face those challenges if we don't put the right distance by saying that, okay, fine, the economy is such that we cannot sustain this. But this is an opportunity for you to go and get a loan, take care of yourself. Because if you are saying, what is even annoying, this thing is that that's what they used to buy books. Me, my boy is in UPSC. I bought the computer. I bought all the books. You understand? So it's like maybe you are favoring this side and maybe leaving some other side. Let's think critically at what we are doing.
That's actually how it is.
You see, let's look at it critically. And then we know we have already used politics, we've done politics with it, but it has come to a point that if we are not careful, any political party coming will suffer. That's how I see it.
But we are here to make a change. So the change that you are
talk for your party, don't say
that's what it started with. They said they are for change.
We are for change, absolutely.
Which change is that?
A change to move away from the duopoly of the MPP.
Which duopoly are you talking about? The one that was still not part of the duopoly.
But Ajay,
for 7 years.
That is even the very reason why we should even believe in him. You understand? Because a wise man who says only a fool who doesn't change his mind. And so if he has changed his mind,
it comes from the water and says, is it a potro? Comes from the water and says,
bless this issue of nursing trainees allowances. I think that is a policy that we need to really think through it very thoroughly. And my proposal is that instead of having it as a distributive policy, it should be rather a redistributive policy that should be within the criteria of a needs-based scholarship, right? We have different households that can be able to take care of their wants. You understand? Some are also impoverished. So let us look at it in a way that we would support students that are from poor families, poor homes, that do not have the means to be able to take up.
If you have free SHS, then pay.
But Ajay, in terms of a scholarship, we should have it in a scholarship form. That I agree with Gabriela. You understand? Because I hope that it should be a redistributive policy, just like the free SHS. The free SHS should not be free for all. It should be free for a segment of our population that are highly destituted. You understand? So that those that can pay should pay. And then government can save resources for other developmental projects. You understand? And let's look deep down into the issue of nursing in this country. If you look at the ratio of doctors to patients in this country, is 1 to 1,000, right? Which is high on the books. If you look at the ratio of nurses to also patients, right? Some data shows that one nurse is to 83 patients. So one nurse is attending to 83 patients. And if you look at the best practice in terms of the ratio, it's supposed to be 1:4 or 1:6. And in high intensive care units, it should be 1:2. But what are we having today? Then let's move also to the quality of our nurses. Bless. Over the years, it's like people that are frustrated are the ones that are ushered into the nursing training colleges, and then they go get their diploma or degree in nursing, and then they come out. No, I mean some Ajia, because if you look at the medical space in this country, hospitals, I mean the rude nature of nurses, they're absolutely rude. And I'm sure that some are rude.
No, I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah.
It's true. The other day I was telling somebody that they don't know the history of nursing. If you know the history of nursing, you have compassion.
Exactly. So I mean, it also boils down to the training of our nurses, right? And so I hope that the Ministry of Health, together with the Association of Nurses and Midwives, would also formulate policies to tackle the quality output of our nurses. You understand? And then bless the issue of allowance, right? I believe that we should really relook the policy and make it a redistributive policy. And finally, bless. We know that yes, government cannot employ all nurses. We have about 70,000 qualified nurses sitting at home that have not been posted till date, right? And we are wasting all these talents and potential in this country. Why don't we formulate policies and agreements with other countries so that we can export our human resource, so that we can also earn foreign exchange? And under the presidency of President Kufuor, Honorable Alan Kojo Tramantin negotiated the AGWA, Africa Growth Opportunity Act, which ensured that over 2,000 producers in Ghana sold in the US market will be exempted from taxes. And so we believe that if we are able to replicate a certain pact with the EU, just as the Philippines is doing, the Philippines export more nurses than any other country into Europe and also the US, and they aim huge foreign reserves. So Ghana, we can also replicate that so that we will not have tens of thousands of nurses living at home doing nothing. You understand? And I believe that the leader and the founder of the Movement for Change stands tall in creating that framework, international framework, as he has done on the international platform with AFTA, with AGWA, and having to even bring in 6 of the world's leading automotive manufacturers in Ghana. And so I know that for a fact, and Ghanaians have to give us the nod to be able to implement all these ideas and also leapfrog our nursing industry in Ghana, so that nurses that cannot get jobs due to job saturation here in the Ghanaian hospitals can be exported to also support the healthcare services of other countries, and we can also make some huge foreign reserves out of that. So I think that it's in good faith, and that no one but the leader and the founder of a Movement for Change, Honorable Alan Kojo Tramantin, is best positioned to do this.
Right. Thank you very much. I'll take time to read a few messages from our cherished viewers. I see that they've sent some through WhatsApp and through the normal text lines. Good morning, bless. In fact, I'm so happy when Baumia met with the nursing students in the northern region about the so-called reintroduction of nursing trainee allowance. Truly, the God of GM is speaking for him. GM has a comprehensive plan to address the needs of service personnel, while the other is clearly confused on how to prudently manage the national service scheme. Choose GM. Change is coming. Kluche Jacob from Amfuega Catholic Hospital in the Volta region. Thank you so much for your message. Greetings, Hajia and Gabriela. Dr. Ramsey, why didn't Alan Cash attend the Akwesidai Festival in Kumasi, especially? He was there. Okay. Okay. It was at a funeral that somebody wanted to shake him, and then he was. No. I mean, I saw the video. It wasn't. It's not true. It's not true, because he was talking to someone, so he wasn't looking at the person. People think it was intentional. Oh, come on. Alan is a gentleman. Nice. He's a fine gentleman. You can't take that away from him. And he's a mature politician. He's a mature politician. That same person who people are saying he didn't want to shake, he brought him to the party. He ate. You understand? He was the one that brought Wontumi into the party. So if Wontumi and his movement TV are propagating false news all around, I mean, you guys shouldn't buy into that. I mean, but I'm saying that even if it was intentional, I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised. No, but that's what I'm saying, that you should look at. Bless. In as much as we want to live above certain things, people cannot run you down, and then at the end of the day, I mean, I understand. To be the bigger person, you'd want to say that, or let all of these things slide. But some people will not let it slide, and it is a legitimate thing.
But don't forget that Alan wants to leave this country.
Well,
but did you say people run who down? Who run who down? I want to understand what you're saying.
I mean,
come clear.
I'm saying that Wontumi made all sorts of remarks about Alan.
Yes.
And so if Alan decides that he's taking this in bad taste, and then he wouldn't want to have anything to do with him, and so because of that, even if he wants to extend a hand to greet him, he wouldn't agree, or he would look away. No. For me, to some extent, I understand.
What didn't the Ashanti regional minister say about him? But he shook his hands.
Right.
So please, all
so it was not intentional.
It's not intentional.
You see, let me tell you,
he's a mature politician. He will not.
In these policies that we find ourselves, you see somebody running you down. I have instances. Then if I'm talking with the person, somebody will come, Aja. He's not the person who did. I said, oh, what is that? We have to leave him. We have to just. And then let me tell you, in the eyes of Allah, you are elevated.
Exactly.
That's my belief. Because can you be chasing shadows if this one do the you that? No. You'll be exhausted.
Yeah. Right. Mystic Wonder inside in Sawama Dwijiri says Dr. Bawumia told Ghanaians that all ghost names have been removed from the system, but the OSP has proven Dr. Bawumia wrong. Dr. Bawumia is simply suffering from credibility issues and the center cannot hold. Never again to this insensitive nation wreckers. Thank you so much for your message. This one here also says, good morning, Pan-African TV. You didn't add anything else. Good morning to you. I hope you're fine. Right. Let's do some more messages. This one says, my name is Musa from Asawasi. Former President Mohammed's call for church leaders to address electoral concerns ahead of the 2024 elections underscores the critical intersection of democratic integrity and economic stability. Transparent and fair elections are foundational to implementing effective 24-hour economic policies that can drive growth and development. By advocating for electoral integrity, church leaders can help ensure a stable political environment, which is essential for executing robust economic strategies that benefit all citizens. Thank you very much, Musa Abatwa, for your message. Now, away from that, good morning, please. The Ghana, the GRNMA, so I think that should be the Nurses and Midwives Trainees Association, has allowed politicians to infiltrate the nursing. That is the problem. Yakubu Abdul Razak, you sent this one. Okay. Good morning. You didn't add anything else. I trust you're doing well. Okay. Let me do some more messages. This one here also says that my brother ALORMASOR, Dr. Bawumia, should not be taken seriously anymore. This man has a credibility challenge, and in all seriousness, he makes statements on political platforms that are only meant for the optics. He will certainly be punished in the December polls. Okay, thank you so much. Sandra Wilson says, this movement for change people are like chameleons who, well. Down below says the MPP aims to fill the security services with loyal party members to allocate 30 slots to each parliamentary candidate. This would involve equipping these recruits with arms to potentially intimidate citizens during the December 7 elections. However, Ghanaians believe that the use of arms should not determine the election of a new president. Instead, they believe that candidates' performance and their impact on the lives of citizens should be the decisive factor. Electing GM requires the collective effort of responsible citizens actively participating. Regards to Honorable Felix Kwachu Fosu, the next MP for the Abra Asebu Kwamankese constituency. All right. Thank you so much for your message. Now let's proceed to our next topic. Sale of SNIT hotels, organized labor to go on strike if process continues. So those of you who do not know the story, so SNIT has some 60% stake in some hotels in the country, including Labadi. If you've been watching Pan-African TV for a while, you know that we do adverts for Ridge Royal Hotel as well. It's one of them. Ridge Royal is located in Cape Coast. It's a very big hotel for that matter. It's one of the hotels that SNIT has some shares in, and we are learning that processes had long commenced to sell the 60% stake in these hotels to Rock City. Those of you who do not know Rock City is owned by the Agric Minister, Mr. Brian Echampong. And so it was Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa who made his own investigations into this matter and brought to fore the issues. But is it in the best interest of the country or of SNIT to sell the stake to Rock City? That is the question that we're asking right now. SNIT themselves have come out to confirm that yes, this is true, and that the processes commenced a long time ago, and that Rock City have the competence to manage their shares, and so that they make more profits. There's been a lot of back and forth with regards to this issue, but I'm sure Gabriella has a lot to say on this. Gabi.
The sale of hotels to Brandy Champo. First of all, let's go back to the basics. Where does SNIT get their revenues from? People's contributions to their pensions. People are making these contributions because they believe that when they go on retirement at the age of 60, this institution should be able to offer them some sustenance till their creator calls them. Some people retired at 60, they've managed to live well past their 80s and 90s. And it is a contribution of people into this institution, this fund, this trust, that is able to keep the Ghana's pension systems, at least the top tier pension system, running. Bless. When I first heard the revelations from Ablakwa, I would say that I was very shocked, because just about 2-3 weeks ago, we were here having conversations around a World Bank report that had indicated that by 2040 something, SNIT will not be able to, the reserves will deplete and will not be able to pay pension funds. And we're having very serious conversations about the kind of investments that SNIT gets into, and how most of these investments, they as an institution are not able to exercise proper oversight to ensure the profitability of these companies. SNIT has gotten themselves into so many investments, many of them making losses. 2, SNIT is under so much political influence that it is the dictate of the politicians in government who determine where SNIT's investment goes and what SNIT does with those monies. 3, in this particular deal, I am surprised about organized labor. I must be very frank, because I know organized labor should have a representative on the SNIT board. And I want to believe that organized labor should have known that there was this transaction SNIT wanted to do. Because we have been hearing in the gossip realm about SNIT wanting to write off some of their hotel investments. So we've known this for well over 5 years, that this is what they wanted, they've been trying to do, or they want to do. But bless, in the case of La Palme and Ridge Royal, these are not hotels that are making losses. These are hotels that are profitable and are even paying dividends to SNIT. So why is SNIT offloading these hotels? Why did organized labor's representatives not speak out at the time when these transactions were going on? If you are looking for investment injections, is it the ones that are struggling that you are going to seek help for, or it is the golden goose that you present for slaughter? 4, Brian Echampong is a politically exposed person. He's a member of parliament for somewhere in Kwewu area. He's the current minister for agriculture and a cabinet minister at that. According to Honorable Ablakwa, there's this act that any member of cabinet or the executive or parliamentarian who wants to participate in any extra activity for income has to seek permission from the speaker before they can engage in those activities. according to Honorable Ablakwa, Honorable Brade Champon does not have such permissions. And that's the reason why he's asking Shraj to investigate him. But bless, my fifth point and my fifth issue is this. What is it with this LPP administration led by Akufo-Addo and the sale of government properties from lands to companies to houses? It's like the whole country has become a crime scene of just selling off government properties. And I find it so disgusting that a person the caliber of Akufo-Addo, who from the time of this constitution came to be in 1992, under President Rawlings, when they were campaigning for President Kufuor to come to power in 2020, were they not the same people who were all over the place that Rawlings had sold off state enterprises to cronies and friends, that Gihok had been sold, rubber plastic had been sold? They were all over the place claiming that NDC was so corrupt and had sold off all these assets. Today, Akufo-Addo is the one in the seat of the presidency, and he doesn't see anything wrong with his appointees busily grabbing from assets, hotel, land. It's like the country is coming to an end, and everybody is just taking their share of Ghana. Honestly, I find it so disgusting. One of my friends told me that this whole country is a crime scene, and I believe that the whole country is not a crime scene. It is so disappointing, and honestly, I find it so disgusting. The states in which people are just pilfering and stealing. The last week we were having a conversation, and Hajia said something that sometimes you go and chop wrong money, and the wrong money will get you and your children. You know, since yesterday, two things have been going through my head. I think that one, you the media, civil society organizations, if they are listening, those in the anti-corruption space, you should start teaching people about what conflict of interest is. Because it's either we don't understand what conflict of interest is, or we are just a bunch of hypocrites who call that we want to be governed by a constitution and laws, but on the blind side of those laws, we perpetrate things without morals, without any sense of integrity, with such abundant recklessness and greed. Bless, this particular issue, to be honest with you, it really irritates me. It's an issue that really irritates me. Right now, whenever I hear conversations about how people are grabbing in this administration, I get very, very angry. I get very pissed off. The second thing has been pointed on my mind. Me personally, I don't believe in courts, because I know that judges, they can influence an innocent person to go to jail. It's evident in all the jails in this country. Innocent people who, by a stroke of bad luck, people have spoken things against them, people have planted things on them, and they've been found wanted. Me, the court I call on, all you need is eggs and schnapps. Judgment is given. Let us go back to the time of our ancestors and put some of these things down. You go and chop Ghana's money, your whole descendants, we should end you. Because right now, some of this is, it just annoys the hell out of me. It is so glaring that you think that something should be so basic, that people who say we are politicians and we are supposed to be leaders should be guided by certain principles, certain morals. But we've thrown all those morals to the dogs, and then it is just grab. Everybody is just coming to just grab. How do you build a nation when everybody is just grabbing? And no leader can say that, you know something, the mandate was given to me by the people. I am the last person who takes responsibility for everything that goes wrong, and for the sake of my own integrity. If you come and you steal, I should be willing to deal with you. Because end of the day, when judgment is given about the legacy I'm leaving behind, nobody is coming to mention, and it was Brane Champon's presidency. It is Akufo-Addo's presidency that sat down for all these things to happen. And is this what Akufo-Addo wants his legacy to be? Already his legacy is in tatters. 6 months to election, he's not going to contest presidency again. It's over for him. Is this what the legacy he wants to leave behind? Is this what he wants to be remembered for? If he thinks that free SHS is what is going to get him to earn his name to greatness in this country, let me give him the shocker of his life. Free SHS students at voter registration center, when they came to register, said that they are willing to vote against NPP because the so-called free whatever they gave them, the so-called free education they promised them, is not what they are seeing. The uniforms they came to registration center is in, they bought their own uniforms. They are buying their own textbooks because you don't give them textbooks. They are having to buy furniture because some of the schools don't have furniture. So this your whole thing about free education. If you think that that is what is going to be your legacy, shocker for you. The ones coming from the rural areas, not the grade A schools that you keep your eye on. The ones coming from the rural areas, they see how deprived they are, and they see that it is not as free as you think that it is. Right. So that is your shocker. But the Akufo-Addo has 6 months to attempt to even redeem a little of himself. Because right now, if you ask anybody, any sector, from a farmer to a fisherman, the boy on the streets, anybody, ask them about this NPP. And if you are not careful, just going to ask somebody that question, you yourself, you get slapped. Because they don't even want to hear that name. He has 6 months. He should think of his legacy, because right now, bless, Ejiri, Asai, Ashe, Akasebe Pro.
Right. Here are the six hotels. Labadi Beach Hotel, it's a 5-star hotel, has 164 rooms. La Palm Royal Beach Resort, 4-star with 152 rooms. Elmina Beach Resort, 3-star with 100 rooms. Ridge Royal Hotel, 3-star with 79 rooms. Buzia Beach Resort, 3-star with 62 rooms, and Trust Lodge Hotel, a purpose-built hospitality block.
Let me just conclude on this issue. Give me 1 second and give me just 1 minute. You see, SNIT, for an institution that is supposed to think long-term, as SNIT, whoever took this decision to hand over these hotels to Brian is a very shallow-minded thinker. This guy is a politically exposed person. That hotel isn't in Kwewu. That you all over the place, Rock City. How much do they make from that hotel? It is these MPs who go on workshops, and the NPP side sells their businesses there. And these training and capacity building workshops they organize from the civil service, that they go and organize there. Do you honestly think that an NDC administration will come to power and send business to that hotel?
You send to your hotel.
Please hold on. Do you think that
she's taking our time, please?
That they are going to send? Do you think that they are going to send business to that hotel?
You all do it.
No. So why would you sell SNIT hotels that do business with government, that are profitable, to somebody whose own business and hotel livelihood after 2024 is not determined?
Right. Thank you very much, Gabriela Tete. Now let me come to Dr. Ramsey.
Bless. I always say, and I continue to say, that we the people of Ghana would never and never take scripture lessons from a drinking bar. And I will continue to say this. Today, the NDC is making noise about the procurement of government properties. We quite remember, and I can give you a list of them, that stores in the NPP have bought shares in SNIT properties in Cape Coast, in Sunyani, Kumasi, and Tamale, when your government was in power. And if you are using the same principle to judge the NPP, which it's actually wrong, I'm even coming to that, then I don't even want to even hear the NDC speak about these issues, because you are also culpable for these offenses. You are guilty for the same offenses that the NPP is committing. Bless. You see, who is Brian Achampong? How did he make all these monies? He was never a hotelier before the NPP came into power. All of a sudden, Brian Achampong makes so much money. he started to be the owner of the largest hotel in Africa, Rock City, they claim. I don't know the facts to this data, but bless. Someone who has no record, no previous business history or investment history in hotels, comes into government by virtue of, I would say, certain corrupt practices which we need to really investigate his source of monies, how he was able to make monies to invest in these massive infrastructures, and then now wanting to buy SNIT. Bless. No, but bless, this is something that we need to even look at. How did Brian make all these monies? Right? He was not known to be rich. If someone like Kwame Osei Despite, and then Fourier Sapon, or even Sam Jonah invest massively in these properties or have these properties, then we know that, okay, yeah, these are known businessmen. They have a track record of business and transactions whatsoever. But someone who has nowhere near dreamt of even having such enormous, gigantic properties seated in coup, all of a sudden has all this wealth. It should be investigated, and I hope that SRAD should investigate the wealth of Brian Achampo. Yoko, I'm calling on Yoko to investigate the wealth of Brian Achampo, because for so long politicians have come into power, they loot the hell out of the country, and then we are left with nothing for development. Both the MPP and both the NDC have done the same thing over the past 3 decades, since the inception of our Fourth Republic. Bless. And so I don't want my sister here to come and speak as if the NDC is angelic and that they are nowhere near these corrupt practices. I mean, you've been in the same space.
You think your candidate is the same?
You've been in the same space, my sister. When Mahama was leaving office, when he lost the election in 2016, just right after leaving office, he signed a contract with the bauxite deal with Ibrahim's company and gave it to his brother. Wasn't that corrupt in that nature? So please, let us speak truth to the Ghanaian people. I am tired of the politicization of issues and the mendacity that we attach to issues as far as public concern is, in this country. Issues that are of high public concern, there's so much mendacity around it, and we need to really move away from that. MPP and NDC, you haven't achieved the desires of Ghanaians. It's been 32 years now. And the NDC has even led more than any political organization in this country. So if we should even hammer on any political polity in this country, I would even start from the NDC. So my sister, let's be guided. We are saying that we need to move away from the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. They will never, if we Ghanaians do not change our mindset, if we do not change the mindset that after 8 years we would kick the NDC and then bring the MPP, they are the same people. Nothing will change. And that is why today we are stuck with the same sentiments that we had in removing President Mahama. I am not surprised, and we shouldn't be surprised. But until we change our mindset, until we change the ways in which we do politics in this country, nothing will change. And that is why we are saying that we need to move away from the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. Bless, I am not saying, and let me state emphatically that the NDC is 100% corrupt and the MPP is 100% corrupt, or neither the CPP and what have you. But we are saying that those that have credibility, right, and have the merit to be able to contribute adequately to the social and economic development of this country should be ones that we should bring on board and form a government of national unity. We have politicized everything in this country. We're so divided by our politics. and it's not inuring any benefit to the people of Ghana. And that is why one of the themes underpinning the movement for change, which I am a proud member of, is that we need to form a government of national unity, because the MPP-NDC wave that we've been changing is not working for us.
Right.
If it has worked for us, we would have seen it clearly. Thank you.
Right. No, before I come to Ajay, bless, the pension funds does not belong to government nor politicians. This was Afoma Afosan, a CEO. How much has he contributed to the fund? The Japadia book is being implemented to the latter. Ghanaians rise up, or else generations to come has no future. Your name is Steven, and you sent this one from Kwabinga. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning, Pan African TV. Bless, what Miss Gabriela have said, I agree with perfectly. Let's go back to our culture. That one can help Ghana. If not, where we are going, it will be very bad for us. My name is Kwame Nkrumah Abraham from Tamale. Thank you, Kwame Nkrumah Abraham, for your message. Good morning, Pan African TV. Salam alaikum, dear Dr. Ramsey from Malam Osman. Thank you, Malam Osman. Dr. Ramsey has heard you and responds to your greetings. From Julius Agahoa and Tairu Asawase. Dr. Ramsey in opposition, Baumia said borrowing is a lazy man's attitude, and that there is money in this country, but in government, the NPP borrowed over 600 billion, but nothing to show. Inshallah, GM will come and rescue us from this corrupt and wicked party called NPP. Thank you so much for your message. This one here also says, good morning, bless. I think it's only Nanado who takes Baumia seriously. Bibi from Accra, you sent this one. Thank you so much for your message. Hi, Mary here. Hi, Mary, and thanks for doing the watching. You didn't tell us anything apart from the hi. We appreciate you regardless, right? So these are some of the messages that our viewers have sent. On that note, I come to Haji Amdatu. Would you, or you'd want to see your time?
Oh, how can I see my time to why is there one time?
I think she spoke and learned. So
the issue about selling of government property to political apparatus, I think we have to condemn it in no uncertain terms. If we condemned it yesterday, we should condemn it today. But let's ask ourselves, Gabriela raised an important point. The organized labor, they have a member on the board. So now that organized labor are saying they are going on demonstration or they are coming out, is it that the board member, he only goes there to take tea and biscuits, and without reporting whatever transpired there to the larger body? Because at least you are on the board to brief your people. You don't just go to sit on the board. And so the labor, listen, they don't have a case. Now let's look at the hotels that are going to be sold, or is it managed? Which one? Are we selling? SNIT selling? Selling. The whole, they have 60% and they are selling the whole 60%. Yes. Who is holding the rest of the 40%?
Other institutions.
Other institutions, yeah. Okay. Then we'll ask SNIT, why? Are the hotels in need? Are they not making profits? And whom do they consult? Because we have stakeholder, because every person contributing to SNIT is a stakeholder. Was there any broader consultations on the reasons why they want to sell the hotels? To no less a person, you know, this lullaby is all over because Brenda Champon is a political exposed person. True or false? True. It's true. And I'm wondering why 6 hotels will be sold to one person. Was it an open tender that maybe they did and then he won?
It was.
Was there transparency, or is there a soul searching, or how do you say?
Soul source.
Soul source. And so we have to be asking all the necessary questions.
That decided to offload all
that is what I'm coming to. That is what I'm coming to. So you see, the only person who can really invest, we have to ask all these questions and stop NDC board, this NPP board, because if we do that, we'll defeat the purpose. We'll confuse our listeners. Let's see whether it is right for SNIT to offload 60% to, not that, oh, maybe we want to offload 10% here, 20% here, 2% here, that might even be a bit convincing that maybe it is not like we are just giving to our people. And you see, selling of states properties, bless, we have to be careful, else we'll come and we'll be left with nothing. Look, and if you look at the other side of it, I don't know any government official who can just go and sleep in Labadi Beach Hotel without paying. It will be difficult. But you remember when it was Continental Hotel, the one Golden Tulip, we even hear about people coming to sleep without paying because it was under government. But in this case, it's a different thing altogether because there are other people with shares there. It's not a whole this thing that is for SNIT, whereby some people can abuse it. You understand? So what is SNIT telling us? They want to sell everything to one particular person. I heard an argument from one of their top people saying that some people bought catering rest house and what have you, who didn't have any experience in hotel business. But I think we only heard about Brian Champon some few years ago when he built the Rock City. That I knew him when Jacobi Chibilamte was the chairman. He was always in Jake's office because Jake happened to be like somebody like a father to me. You see, so please, we are in politics, but if when we get power, we should be very careful the way we use the power. If I have the opportunity and sit with His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo, I'll tell him to stop that jail if he will listen to me. I'll just tell him, Nana, leave a legacy. Don't allow that to happen because it is not Brian Champon's legacy, but it's President Akufo-Addo's legacy. How on earth can you convince me? Because I've been to all these hotels that we are talking about. Currently, our Women Leadership Network, we are going to have a dinner this at Labadi Beach Hotel. They've given us a bill. They won't even wait for you to finish before they'll pay. You have to pay before. This 5-star hotel and 4-star hotel, if you're going to have a conference there, they'll give you the bill. You will pay. They will say pay 50%. But before you check in, pay the rest before. A hotel like that did to me some time back when we were hosting Wafa. I don't want to mention the hotel. I went to different hotels and I saw that this thing was very good and very close to where we were going to have. They gave me the bill. I sent it to Labour Party. They sent the money through their account. A day for their arrival, then they wrote a letter to me that before they check in, I have to pay the rest. So I said, but this is something that we have to finish and then you give me the final bill. But they said, Lala, if I mention the person who gave a postage check with a copy of his passport, writing to that hotel to guarantee my integrity, you shake your head. You'll be surprised. So that is why in whatever you are doing, make sure you don't have any negative. Everybody have some, at least not too much, in such a way that nobody can say, as for Gabriela, I can guarantee. Doctor, I can guarantee. Haji, I can guarantee. I'm telling you, in 2000, myself and Anita D'Souza, who went and did the thing at the place there, they were all shocked. So how can such hotels be sold just like that? And then I'm hearing even one is going for $5 million. If I look at lands in this country now,
they are not going in dollars.
Cedis.
In fact, they are in cedis.
If you change it into dollars,
No, they are not.
5 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
So listen, 5 million Ghana cedis. All one we are saying.
50 billion.
Okay, fine. 50 billion.
Yes.
And we are even going to have a program. Those who are coming to organize it for us, not to take care of the hotel or the food or everything, are charging us 4-5 billion all Ghana cedis.
Hey.
So you can imagine. So it's just going for free.
Conferences like that.
You understand my point?
Yes.
You understand my point? So it is not something that will be popular with the Ghanaian people.
Yeah.
It is not something that Ghanaians will accept. It is not something that SNIT contributors will accept. I think this deal needs to be looked at again. If the NDC bought catering rest house in Sawam Kanre, that doesn't justify the sale of this promising
Catering
or making
restaurants is what
a
they say for
profitable
somebody hotel.
hotels to an individual. What
Did you
maybe
see the state
what
of
what
catering
People should allow it.
what maybe
Talk.
some of us can listen to is, oh, Labadi Beach Hotel is having some challenges. We have 60% there. We want to offload some 10% shares to get some revenue. That one is understandable. But you cannot say you are selling the whole shares to one particular person. That was Labadi Beach Hotel. That land alone can cost us 50 million.
Yeah.
Cedis.
Oh, 50
Yeah.
million. It should
I'm
be more
saying
than.
the-
The two
Hey,
together.
beach this
Beach
one.
front.
That
The
place.
two together.
So
La Palm
for
and
me,
Labadi
hey,
together.
people are
That's stretching.
selling land.
Yes, I'm not against Ghanaian investments, but we have to look at it properly. We don't just do it because we want to do it, because we have the
PPA has
opportunity.
to even investigate.
You understand?
PPA.
We
Yeah.
have to really be careful. We shouldn't leave a legacy that people would rather be cursing us instead of praising us. That's what I'll say about it.
Thank you very much.
Bless my two minutes to
no, but,
add this. You see, I just want to buy education. I want us to refresh our minds about something and why the need for some of these hotels owned by the state through its institutions. You see, prior to hotels like Kempinski, Movenpick, Holiday Inn, Marriott coming into the picture, we were having investors, we were having international conferences, people were coming into this country, but we didn't have hotels that were high standards for some of the guests that were coming. And so there was a need for us to have certain caliber of hotels in this country. La Palm, Labadi,
Yeah.
okay, in Greater Accra. For presidents, for queens, for kings, princes, it comes with a certain level of prestige for us to have these assets. Now, with time, we've had the private sector come in to shore up the hotel industries and to boost tourism. But the mere fact that we have private sector players in the sector doesn't mean that government also has to wash its hands of her shares in these hotels. A lot of the hotels in the hands of the private sector, they are not doing as well as the ones in government. Because one, these ones have built a reputation for themselves over the years, branding. Two, because they are state-owned enterprises and other institutions feel more comfortable
5 million.
Sharing
No, one of them was
businesses-
even like 6 million or so.
sharing businesses with
Yes.
them. You understand? Sharing businesses with them. So this is money, government money, that is circulating in the whole government ecosystem. You are going to privatize it for the money to now leave governments and move to private hands. So the only thing you benefit from that thing is going to be the income taxes and corporate taxes that you are going to get. Aja, you let me finish. Now let me talk to Ramsey. You are my younger brother. I know that political communication, but let me tell you something I've admired about your political party. In fact, I was telling my communicators that it appears that this party has pulled all the best communicators from NPP, because their communicators do far better than NPP's current crop of communicators. But you see, when you light a fire, it's two things. Either the fire will give you light or that fire will burn you. I don't want to burn you because you are young. First of all, the NDC is not a bottle for you to come and tell us that you don't take advice from a bottle. Secondly,
we don't take scriptural lessons
It's from a drinking bar. Yeah.
fine, we are not a drinking bar either. Secondly, we are the most successful political party from your NPP and this your new one. Bless.
Wow.
Secondly, your candidate, third, okay, fine. Your candidate that you are selling, and you think that he's the holier than thou. If we are to pull his records, PSI, let's even take only one thing, garments.
Oh,
Let's take garments.
let's take it.
Let's take garment
Who
sector.
brought Friday when the
We are
public
not talking
sector?
about Friday week.
No, but who brought it?
If the garment sector,
Garment and textile sector.
PSI garment.
He was the one that
please
raised
hold
the
on.
industry.
Please
Our
hold
time
on.
is even
Bless.
up, so-
They put taxpayers' money
Bless. Give me
into
1 minute.
retrofitting
Yes.
warehouses to serve as manufacturing hubs for garments. those people they use taxpayers' money from felt so entitled to those assets that when even investors want to come and do plug and play, set up manufacturing companies in this country, and we want those people who are sitting in those warehouses doing nothing to leave the premises. Yes. They feel so entitled. They reference Alan Chairman gave them those properties.
Yes.
And during the transition time of 2009, I was secretary to Alexa Befia. If he comes on Monday, ask him. I was secretary to Alexa Befia. And in the transition report, go and find out how much money under the trade sector was given to these manufacturers. What did they produce for this country? Nothing. Out of all the government manufacturers, only one of them managed to survive. Your candidate was part of this corrupt NPP regime. He is just your candidate. I didn't tell you I finished talking. Your candidate was left disappointed because he felt like a doom was so and they bypassed him, and that is why he left your political party. Next time you light a fire, know that the fire can burn you or you give you light.
This is not fire. To you this is this is fire, but to me it's not fire. Bless, let me reiterate the fact that you've been the longest serving political party in this country.
You have been the longest serving trade minister.
Fair enough. And today he's been the longest serving trade minister. Yes.
You see, you didn't let him read his pamphlet. He came with everything that is wrong with it. Meanwhile, you are the longest serving trade minister. You could not change the balance of payments of this
ability to produce 125,000 vehicles.
Thank you, Ramsey. Thank you.
Where are the cars?
Capacity to produce 125,000
vehicles. Where are the cars?
Hey.